Welcome, one and all, to Little Rock Gaming. That's gaming from the Little Rock. Today, we're going to be reviewing these nice decks that were provided to us by Forbidden Power. They were nice enough to give us this to be able to review them, give you an honest opinion on them. And if you were interested in getting these decks, you can always check the link on the description. Or if you're around in the area, you can go to visit them in MCDA. They're always open to have new players. That being said, let's get to it.
Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at the Grand Larceny deck, piloted by Gonti, Canny Acquisitor. He's a 5/5 legendary Aetherborn rogue, with spells you cast but don't own cost 1 less, so he's a value piece in himself.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But also, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down, so only you can see it. Then, you can play that card as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be used to cast that spell. So basically, this guy's whole game plan is to steal cards from everybody else and cast them at his leisure whenever he wants.
Me interested.
Absolutely. Then there is a secondary commander in the deck who, while I think is not as synergistic with the theme, the stealing theme, I think is just a flavor win and the art is amazing.
Felix 5 Boots.
That it is.
Felix 5 Boots. One of my favorite cards out of this whole set. It's just an legendary ooze rogue, so it's literally a jelly with boots. It's amazing. It has menace and ward too, and it has the ability that if a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, and that causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability will trigger an additional time. So if you have your Gonti on the board, and you have your 5-foot Felix on the board as well, now you will be exiling the top 2 cards of someone's library.
That's it.
So that's the more stealing. Amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah. While I wouldn't run him as the primary commander, he's just as good. He can be run. I mean.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, because one cool thing that I noticed out of this deck is that it has a lot of creatures that also give you a payoff out of dealing combat damage
and attack triggers. Yeah, that's true.
So like we have like a couple of ninjas there, so you can like ninjutsu them in, and all ninjas, or at least the vast majority, have, whenever they deal combat damage to a player, they have certain
effects,
triggers.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's really, really good. I think it's like a like you said, flavor is, oh my god, it's amazing. Beautiful. It is beautiful. Yeah. So how about like, what is it the deck out of the box? Like, what does it do?
Well, so the game plan of the deck is basically to populate the board with some evasive creatures, flyers, death touchers who don't want to get blocked, stuff like that, and swing at your opponents. You exile the top card of their library, and then you can play them with Gonti, with a discount, and that's great. And with the green ramp that you're getting, you want to be casting other people's spells. Quite a disruptive game plan.
Yeah, what's pretty cool is that since you're playing green, as you just mentioned, you're more than likely going to have the mana to be able to play other spells.
Absolutely.
And more importantly, that you can pay mana of any color, as if it was of any color. So.
But besides that, there are 23 stealing cards in the deck.
Oh my god.
That's ridiculous. I mean, stealing from the top of their library, stealing from their graveyard, stealing straight from their board. Every kind of stealing you could possibly imagine is in this deck, and it's great.
Oh my god. Do you hear that?
What's that, Luke?
It's my Ciatora deck calling. Oh my god. Wants it.
So what about the distribution list? What's the deck made up of?
I mean, out of the box, especially with Gonti as your commander, you have around 6 evasive creatures, 38 lands, which is a bit much. However, since you're playing green, you're going to be, running through those quite quickly. You have 13 ramp pieces, which is pretty good. Again, you're going to be playing big spells.
Quite strong.
Out of either your own hand or someone else's board. You have 2 token generators, some creatures or things that give you +1/+1 counters, a couple actually. Then you have either interaction or removal. You have 7 pieces that you can play at instant speed. We mentioned this as a 2.5 board wipes.
Yeah.
Because you have Calling Ritual there.
Which only targets power 2 or less.
Exactly, so it's not entirely a board wipe.
But it also ramps you.
It also ramps you because it gives you like free mana, basically. If you're playing against someone with tokens, they're gonna have a really bad day. You're gonna have an
Absolutely.
amazing time.
Totally.
Then you have one recursion card.
Yeah, kind of low. Only one piece. But hey.
Well, like again, since you're not playing a lot of your own things, I understand why the deck didn't want to go that way of like, okay, let me get back things, because
That's
it's more
true.
like, I'm going to be playing your stuff. Thank you very much.
That's true. And to be fair, that recursion piece is the mimoplasm. So basically, you're just going to take two things out of graveyards and make a hodgepodge monster out of them.
Exactly. And then last but not least, outside of the 23 pieces of theft cards that we have there, we also have 5 pieces of card draw.
Now that's direct. Says draw a card on the card. Obviously,
there are some creatures that do give you some other benefits added to draw a card when something else happens.
And obviously the 23 theft cards are really supplementing your card draw.
Yeah, you're drawing from someone else's library, which is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Now, how about some new cards that this deck has?
Yeah, some of the most notable new cards include Dream Thief's Bandana and Tower Winder, which allows you to tutor for a command tower, and it gets it to your hand. To be honest, I think this was a bit of a wasted opportunity. Green is the color that allows you to tutor for lands the most easily. So
100%.
did it really need another way to find a command tower? I think that if this creature was colorless, it would be a bomb.
Oh yeah. 100%.
This would be...
It would be run in every single deck.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Any 3-color deck and above would want this creature in there.
100%. I mean, it's a little bit of a... It's not that bad. I mean, seeing that it has reach and death touch, so it has its uses.
Definitely, people won't want to block it.
Exactly, and again, the trigger is on E. Damn. So it's still gonna give you some value. Unfortunately, it just puts it in your hand. It doesn't go into
exactly.
It's like not typical green.
That's it.
Kind of thing. I don't know. It's a little bit of a weird card. Not my favorite for sure. But I can see it has its uses. Now, how about some reprints? Do we have some good stuff here from previous sets?
There are some very cool cards that fit the theme very well, such as Mind's Dilation, which is an amazing card that whenever an opponent casts their first spell each turn, that player exiles the top card of their library, which is very much on theme, and if it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Wow, bam!
3 spells.
Absolutely. It does cost 7 mana. So,
I mean, like you're playing green, you have the mana.
That's it, you're playing green as well. That's why I love Sultai as a color combination, because the crazy expensive things from blue and black, you can pay them easily with the ramp from green. It's great.
It's amazing. Well, and like we mentioned before, there are also some ninjas. You have some ninja staples like Fallen Shinobi and Silent Blade Oni. So
he's also very likely to steal things from your opponents, so
100%.
fits the theme.
Menace, so always good to have a menacing creature, and like insert the meme of like,
he's just standing there, menacingly.
Regards to the value and the reprints and all this, important to mention, this deck, at the time of recording, the value after you take all the cards and you put them individually is around $103.
Okay.
Making it the second to last least expensive. How about what is your top card for this particular deck and what is your bottom card?
Okay. So my top card, 100% is Mind's Dilation. That is such a strong enchantment, and again, as we said, you're in green, you're going to be able to ramp to it very quickly, so as soon as it gets onto the board, it's just backbreaking. For my least favorite card of the deck, and I've already gone over why I don't like it that much, it's the Tower Winder. He's good, he's interesting, I like the fact that now we can tutor for a command tower, that is pretty cool, but green has all the best ramp effects. By 10-3, if you're in a 3-color deck, you will generally have the 3 colors you need if you're running green. You just make sure you have a forest in your opening hand and you're good.
And if you didn't, it's because you didn't mulligan well enough.
Yes, learn how to mulligan better.
Yes, very good, very good.
What about you, Luis?
Well, as my top card, I will have to say, we mentioned it very briefly, is the Culling Ritual, which again is a sorcery, it's a 4-mana sorcery that destroys each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less, and you can add either black or green for each permanent destroyed this way.
So it's a super ramp card as well.
Super ramp card. Imagine you're playing against the Yuma deck that we mentioned on a previous video, where basically your thing is you have 1024
Scoot Swarms. Oh my gosh.
Right? So now you can have 512 green, 512 black, and then you can just go for like a combo piece, like, playing black, you're able to add like Torment of Hellfire on this particular deck, and that will trigger then 123 times or 22 times.
Wow.
Good luck, someone coming back from that, right? So that's why I chose that as my top card for this deck.
Strong.
The card I didn't quite like from this deck, although I like the foretelling mechanic, it is the Sage of the Beyond. The Sage of Beyond is a 7 mana creature, so quite expensive.
Yeah, just as much as the Melodic Betrayal.
100%.
Mind's Dilation.
Yeah, but the difference here is that here you will not get to play things for free. Instead, anything that you cast anywhere other than your hand is going to cost you 2 less.
So it's ramp, but very expensive.
It's going to give you a discount, but you know, like you're going to need to invest 7 mana into it. You're better off running something else that will be able, you know, that you will be able to get a discount for. Honestly, huge fan of foretelling myself. I run this card in a different deck, but where it makes sense. Good card, not in this instance.
Okay, so final question then. On a scale of S to F, what would you give the deck?
Well, I do love me some crime, right? Especially on a game of Commander. So this one thematically has to be one of my favorite ones. However, it can be very daunting for someone that is new.
Definitely.
Because you are not even using the cards, or most of the time you will not be playing the cards that are in your deck. You're going to be using some other cards. So
you have to know everyone else's deck almost as well as you know yours.
Exactly. So, you know, it's going to take a lot of game knowledge to be able to play this. That being said, once you get into it, and once you have played like a couple more games and you see like some staples or some like if your friend group doesn't have like many decks and they always play like the same rotation, I think it can be really fun. That being said, again, this one I will give it a C+.
I think I'd probably give it the same, just because it is fun and it's definitely powerful, but I would say it is a bit complicated, especially when you're just playing 4 decks at once. It just becomes more and more things to track, more and more cards you're exiling. So it just becomes disruptive. It's a little bit more tedious, I would say. But if that's your kind of thing, then this is absolutely the deck for you. You're going to be stealing everybody's things in a myriad of ways, and it's very fun to do so.
Trust me on that one. It is fun.
Luis knows. If you want to check out the full deck list, links in the description below. Well guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Again, thank you so much to Forbidden Power for providing us these decks. We had a really good time reviewing them. If you guys want to pick them up, link is in the description below as we said before. Check it out, and we'll see you in the next video.
Like and subscribe.